Welcome back, everyone. Throughout the next month, the Lakers have to figure out what they want to do with their first round draft pick, or even before that, if they'll even have it to begin with, though that does appear to be fairly likely. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they still owe the New Orleans Pelicans one more first round draft pick, the very last thing they owe them from the Anthony Davis trade. And well, the Pelicans have the choice between taking either their 2024 or their 2025 first round draft pick, and they have up until draft week to make that final choice. But again, many believe that they will defer that pick to 2025, as the 2024 draft is being viewed as a weaker draft, with that being particularly true for the top 10. Though that would not be a problem for the Lakers, who will own the 17th overall draft pick given that the Pelicans let them have it. And let's say that they do. Should they keep this draft pick instead of trading it? And then if they do keep it, who should they look to take with it? Well, many Laker fans like to see them draft a big, and I tend to agree with them too. Though I'm not sure we all agree on the type of big they should take. Many would like to see them draft Zach Edey, and while I'm not entirely against that, I think that many are infatuated with him for some things that might not translate well to the NBA. And with that in mind, we are going to compare him to a more versatile big in today's video, with that being Kel'el Ware, one of the most athletic and versatile big men in the entire draft. But before we get too far into it, if you want to keep up with everything Lakers throughout the offseason, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. I know it's kind of cliche, but it really does help and I really do appreciate it, especially those of you that have been here for literal years now. You guys have been great. But without further ado, let's get back to today's topic, and we'll begin by going through an overview of Kel'el Ware. Like I mentioned before, the guy is very athletic. He recorded a standing vertical leap of 32.5 inches, although with a max vertical leap of 36. Pretty damn impressive for a legit 7-footer. And yes, he does happen to be that too. Even without wearing shoes, he ranked as the 5th tallest player in the entire draft, being 6'11 3/4 without wearing shoes. And I think we can give him that quarter of an inch, especially with him measuring at 7'1" with shoes, which he obviously will be playing with. Now, I'm not a big fan of combine measurements or drills, but he did happen to receive a perfect score of 100. And according to Nick Kalinowski, that set an all-time record for centers, which is undeniably noteworthy. Simply put, the guy is not your traditional big. Unlike a guy like Zach Edey, he can actually move his feet well enough to switch on defense, being able to guard quicker players along the perimeter. And well, if you watch Rudy Gobert try to defend Luka Doncic last night, then you'll know how valuable that can be in the modern NBA. He might be the defensive player of the year, but that does not mean that much during the late fourth quarter, where teams will often target him on defense due to his lack of foot speed, and especially come playoff time. In my opinion, that is why I would take a guy like Anthony Davis, or in this case, drafting a guy like Kel'el Ware over Zach Edey if we're talking about defense. Now, Edey might be bigger than Ware, but that does not mean he'll be a better defender. Other than likely top 3 pick Alex Sarr, Kel'el Ware might be the most versatile defensive big in the entire draft, being able to both protect the rim on defense and being able to switch on defense, which is much more than simply a luxury in the modern NBA. At this point, it's pretty much become a priority. And can you imagine how good he and Anthony Davis would be on defense together? Two bigs that can not only protect the rim, but then can actually guard the perimeter as well. That to me is a cheat code in the modern NBA, and really the only way that you can have a 2-big lineup in every matchup. Going back to the Rudy Gobert thing, their 2-big lineup may have worked against a more paint-orientated team like Denver, but it's not really working against a more perimeter-orientated team like Dallas, with them currently being picked apart by high pick and roll play, although Dallas being able to take advantage of the drop coverage that Rudy Gobert relies on. And again, that is why a guy like Kel'el Ware is so intriguing to me. At the end of the day, your goal should be able to defend every team, not just some of them, and the way you do that is by having versatile defenders, and that was something that Ware talked about during the draft combine, and I'll let you hear what he had to say.
Clearly you've been bandied about as a first-round draft pick somewhere in this draft. What makes you NBA ready?
I'm definitely able to, pick and probably with a biggie role, be that lob threat, have slow, so I'm able to move my feet, be able to defend the perimeter, the shooting guards. I've been working on it this whole little draft, and especially just be able to just go out there, compete, and just be there, be the presence that I need to be on the court.
Again, truly the definition of a modern NBA defensive big. And don't worry, if you love traditional big men who block shots, he can do that too. He averaged about 2 blocks per game during his sophomore year of college, being a great last line of defense for his team. And then for the final part of defense, defensive rebounding, he was very good in that area as well. Even with him switching on defense, Ware was able to get back and lead their team in defensive rebounding, averaging about 8 of them per game and about 10 rebounds per game overall. Simply put, the guy can do everything on defense. The only minor flaw would be with him needing to put on a little more weight, though even that is trending upward. He entered college weighing only about 210 pounds, but then left college weighing between 230 and 242 pounds. Not really sure on that one, as I've seen both of them being listed. But regardless, he can more than handle himself around the rim. In my opinion, Kel'el Ware is a no-doubt pick over Zach Edey on defense, and really in all facets. I would take him over Edey at the rim, along the perimeter, and definitely when it came to switching on defense, though I would give Zach Edey the edge on rebounding. But how about offense? And here is where there's a little more debate. I think we can all agree that Edey is one of, if not the best low post player in the entire draft. But in reality, that is something that won't help him that much in the NBA, or at least not right away. I mean, I guarantee the team that drafts him won't be running their offense through him, nor would they be running it through Kel'el Ware, who, much like Zach Edey, is a pretty damn good low post player. But again, that won't really matter that much, or at least not in their rookie years. What they will be looked at to do on offense is be pick and roll players, offensive rebounders, and then be able to space the floor if they can, which is something that Edey did not do back in college. Now, he did flash a little bit of shooting potential at the NBA Draft Combine, but I'll believe it when I see it during a game. And that was something that Kel'el Ware was actually able to do. Unlike Edey, he showed the ability to knock them down during a game, shooting 42.5% from beyond the arc during his sophomore year. And with Anthony Davis having pretty much lost the ability to shoot threes, that will greatly benefit them from having a big that can. Now, Kel'el Ware might not have attempted that many of them, only having attempted 95 of them during his 2-year college career, but I love the fact that he was not afraid to take them, and he only appears to be getting better at them too. In that regard, I would give Kel'el Ware a big edge over Zach Edey, and it's really not even up for debate. But how about pick and roll play? In my opinion, they both showed a lot of promise here. Zach Edey did more through a more physical style of play, while Kel'el Ware did more through a more athletic style of play, with him being more of a pick and roll lob threat compared to Edey being more of a dump off guy around the rim. They both worked, and very well at that too, but I think that Ware's style of play could translate a bit better to the NBA. The kind of floor spacing that we typically think of as 3-point shooting, but it's not the only kind, with the other variant being vertical spacing, and that happens to come from a lob threat like Kel'el Ware. Now, Edey can be a lob threat due to his height alone, but he's not a great vertical leaper, therefore limiting his ability through pick and roll play. But that is not the case for Kel'el Ware. The guy is one of the best lob threats in the entire draft, and we're seeing the value of that with guys like Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford right now in the NBA playoffs. Again, low post scoring ability would definitely have to go to Zach Edey, but I would give 3-point shooting, pick and roll play, and offensive versatility in general to Kel'el Ware, which I think will make him a more valuable big man in the long run. And in my opinion, Kel'el Ware would be the more valuable pick here at 17th overall. Don't get me wrong, I like Zach Edey, and I think he will be able to fill a role in the NBA as well, but I think there is so much more you can do with a guy like Kel'el Ware, both on offense and defense too, which is really what it comes down to in the modern NBA. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? Even apart from pinning them against each other, how do you feel about Kel'el Ware as a potential option at 17th overall, or even as a draft prospect in general? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.